my channel, and in today's video I am going to be doing a sculpture of Espeon. And so I said I was going to be doing Espeon, and I'm really excited to do this. It's a psychic evolution of Eevee, which is great because we've got lots of purples and I've got an idea for it and I hope it goes the way I'm thinking in my mind. I mean, they never do, they never turn out the way that I'm thinking, but hopefully it will. So we're just going to get on with it and hopefully it'll be what I'm thinking. So with this one, I'm hoping to do a more dynamic pose. So it's going to be kind of like in mid-run, I'm guessing, and I want the tail to be like, wow. It makes sense in my brain. I know what I'm thinking. And hopefully I'm going to have, it needs a base for this one because it is going to be, hopefully one paw is going to be kind of like on the base and the rest of it's going to be like mid-run. So it does need to be secured to a base, and I don't just want the base to be kind of boring. I do want to incorporate some kind of either light or glow in the dark or just something fun in the base. I don't know. I've never actually worked with lights or with glow in the dark or even with like resin on bases. I don't know. It's an idea. We're gonna get there. We'll see what happens. And if I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't, I'll do something different. It's how it goes with sculptures. I'm sure everyone else that makes them understands where I'm coming from. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into the sculpture.
So as always, I start my sculptures off with an armature. It's the thing that holds the entire sculpture up. Without it, Espeon would just be a puddle in the oven. Trust me, I've tried to make an armature with... I've tried to make a sculpture without an armature. It does not work. It does not work. If your sculpture has legs or anything that props it up, if you have any kind of weight on it, the heat of the oven just flops it. So you need to have some type of armature, whether or not it's a wire one or if it's a foil one. Also, I apologise in advance for my voice. I have had a chest infection that I cannot get rid of, and I'm sorry if I sound a little bit meh. I've literally had it for like 3 months and I cannot get rid of it, and I sound so stuffy. And I'm conscious of it on this, but I don't want to put this off anymore, so I do apologise for how my voice sounds on this video. Also, another little funny story about this video. I had it all completed a while ago, but my external hard drive decided to delete all of my files, including all of my videos. Amazing, as it does. I did get most of them back though. I used something called Dildrisk. Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored at all. It cost me 75 quid, but at least I have most of my files back. And I almost had a heart attack, like when everything had gone, because there were years worth of videos that I just hadn't bothered to do. So, but luckily I got most of them back, but now my external hard drive doesn't work, so I had to fork out for another external hard drive. To be fair though, the old one was about 10 years old, so it's done well, I suppose, except for that little bit where it just deleted absolutely everything of my life's worth in the last 10 years, but hey ho, we carry on. For this armature, I just found a picture of Espeon on Google and I drew in the joints of its skeleton where I thought it would go. I've only drawn the 2 front legs, or the front legs that are closest to us, because if I did all 4, the distance would cause them to be all different lengths, so the back ones are shorter than the front ones. So with these, if it's a 4-legged animal, I only do the front 2, and then I'll just double up with the wire, so I'll use the same one, so they're the same length when you're sculpting. I do have a downloadable template on my Patreon of the Espeon armature, and whatever size you print the picture, it's roughly going to be the size of the sculpture. So this one, I think I did it on A5. It's on an A5 piece of paper, so it's roughly that size. If you do it smaller, it'll be a smaller sculpture, and if you go bigger, it will be a bigger sculpture. I think the biggest sculpture that I've done was on a full A4 piece of paper, and that was massive. So it is roughly about the size of the printable that you print off, if that makes sense. For the clay for Espeon, I'm using Fimo Soft and it's in the colour Lavender, and oh my gosh, it is the perfect shade for Espeon. Like, it's meant for it. I found the colour and I was like, wow, it's exactly the same colour. So I didn't do much painting in this one because the clay was just perfect. It was just a lovely colour and it was just the colour of Espeon. So that's what colour it is. It was a big block as well. So you can get the little tiny blocks. I think they're 57 grams, whereas I managed to find this big block for 454 grams, I think it was. So it was a very big block, and I got that, and that's the colour that I used for the body. For the eyes, I used some plain dome capuchons. I've got loads of them. I think they were 10, no, they're not, they're 8mm. So the eyes are 8mm cabochons and they're just plain domes, and then I used some colours on the back, so I've just painted that with acrylic, just the same colour as Espeon's. And then for the ears I used Fimo Soft again, and I used that in the colour Windsor Blue. Oh, Windsor Blue, it's such a lovely deep blue. It's perfect for the inner ear. Whenever I make a sculpture, I always part bake it. I don't just do it all in one go. I used to, and it failed. It would fail so badly because I'd do one part and then I'd hold a different part and it would just destroy any progress that I made. So part baking your sculpture kind of saves your progress. It's like a save game. And so once it's saved, you can kind of do whatever you want to it. You can even take bits off of it and it's fine. So that's why I part bake my sculpture. But the first layer over the top of the masking tape always looks awful and bumpy, but it's not to worry because it's important. It kind of gives a solid base to the sculpture so that you can then build up on it, and then the next layers will look a lot smoother from there. Sometimes I will use baby oil if I'm not going to do a texture. So on this one I decided not to do a fur texture on the body because I wanted to do fluffy tails, so I wasn't sure if it was a little bit too much. So because I wasn't doing any texture on the body and I wanted it to look a lot more like the actual Pokemon, I used some baby oil and I just smoothed it all out, and it makes it so smooth and so nice.
Okay, just want to come in the middle of the video just to say my excitement. So this is what Espeon is like at the moment. So I just need to like finish the legs. I'm loving the ears. Like I never thought I could do ears like this without them snapping off, but I've got them. Look at them. And so, but I'm so excited, like really excited to do the tail. Like I always want to do thin, whimsical sort of sculptures, but the only thing that I worry about is posting it. So if somebody was to buy it and then I was to post it out, would it snap? I don't know. Does anyone know how to strengthen clay? Because I always seem to have issues. I have got a wire armature that I'm going to put in there to sort of, you know, strengthen it up so it's not just clay. But I'm going to make it, and hopefully it won't snap if it gets posted. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to do it. I just wanted to, you know, go in the middle of the video just to say I'm excited for this next bit. And I cannot wait to see what it looks like. I'm thinking of doing like a long tail because it's got the two little spokes coming out of it. I'm thinking, you know, the ones where I do sort of the fluffiness, and maybe do a bit of fluffiness on each one. I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see how it looks. But anyway, I am dying to make sort of a sculpture that's, you know, I don't know what you'd call it. Thin and wispy, yeah. And we'll see how it goes, we'll see. And I can't wait though. I'm gonna drill a hole in its butt now though, so we can put that tail in.
I used a mini USB drill to make a hole in Espeon's butt, and then I made a tail armature and glued it in with epoxy glue. So this was just to make sure that the tail wouldn't collapse, because I had plans for the spokes to be dead fluffy and they'd probably be heavy, so I made sure that I put a wire in this one to make it a bit stronger than normal. I built up around the tail with the lavender clay, and I made sure that I pinched it as well, so I pinched all around it, and I found that when I pinch around the wire with the clay, it stops air bubbles from forming when it's in the oven. So I baked it once I've pinched all around it and all the wire was covered, and then I built it up with some more clay, and then obviously from the base I did a bit of a thicker tail and went kind of smoothed it out again with the baby oil. The top part of the tail is the bit I was most excited to do. I wanted fluffy, and I tried to make fluffy, so what I do normally with my wolf tails. So I wanted that to do with Espeon's tail, and I've made sure that it was strong enough to hold the 2 spokes of the tail with all that clay on it. But this was the bit that I was so excited to do, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I had such an issue figuring out how to do the face there. I went a little bit overboard, and I'm not too happy with how that turned out. But I don't know, I tried to just do the 2, fluff bits from its face, and then I didn't like it. I didn't like it, so I put some more fur on. I don't know, what do you think? I'm not keen. I don't know why, I just couldn't make it look good. I don't know. Oh well, I'll try again some other time, but for now this will do. So I have a resin base. I made this from a silicone mould that I'd made previously with a wooden plinth, so I could make a lot of duplicates because they're quite expensive, these little wooden plinths. It was only out of MDF. I was about to say MDMA then. That would be a completely different thing, can you imagine? I've lost your train of thought now. So then I took a dark purple acrylic and then I painted the base. I really like the dark purple, it's such a pretty colour. And I had found this amazing iridescent lavender glitter for the top. I think I got it from eBay, and I got so much of it as well, and I really like the colour. But I've got loads of it left now because I only used a little bit of it, so I'm going to have to try and find projects to use that because I have so much of it now. And then for the base, the last little bit, I decided on creating crystals, although I've never made them before. So this was the first time. I used epoxy resin and I coloured it with pinks and purples. I found the crystal mould on Amazon. And I love it. I love the mould. I've got like quite a few. I think you got like a kit, and it had I think 3 different moulds, and I really, really like the crystal mould. It's really pretty. And then when the crystals were still a little bit soft in the mould, I demoulded it, and then I could sort of manipulate it around the base, and then I hot glued that to the base. So just a massive thank you to my Patreons, Django Fox and Marcus Storzer. Thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!